2, 3, and we are live with the Raw Grass Podcast here with Mr. Dwayne McGee. And I know for a fact, just from knowing him, he has so much to share, so much knowledge. And there goes a piece of paper. Awesome. So, should have put something on there, huh? So mainly on this podcast, I just want to go over certain things with whoever is not open to share their feelings and all that kind of stuff like that, or who are unable to, who are more of like closed off and not really trying to expose themselves, if that makes sense. So knowing Mr. Dwayne for a really long time, knowing some of his story, I just wanted to share with all you guys out there who are open to actually learn from what this awesome man has to share. So with that, let's get to it. And yeah, I'm not here to rattle anybody's feathers. I don't have time for that. I'm sure he does because he's older, but let's see how far that goes. So yeah, Mr. Dwayne, just
glad to be here. Thank you very much. I
awesome.
Appreciate it. Jay's a great person, and I'm skeptical doing this for a lot of people. So for Jay, I'm good to go. Just ask me any questions. I'm open for anything.
Oh, anything. Because for certain people, I'm not trying to go too deep. I'm not trying to reveal anything.
I'm a cowboy. I can handle it.
Woo-wee. So, yeah. Who are you? I know you've done martial arts for a really long time, and we will get into that. But, with that being said, what makes you you?
That was a big question. You went right to what makes me me. Being a leader, a drive, a vision I had since I was 10 years old, really. I knew when I was young, Vietnam had just finished pretty much, and I had cousins, and when people passed away, and I said at the time I wanted to be, and the South Central got really bad in 68 riots and saw a lot of bad things, and I said, how can I contribute? And I said, LAPD. And as I was watching television, I started seeing shows and cartoons and action movies, and I said, I want to get in the film business. So I stuck to those two for many years. All the way I said, I'm going to be either a police officer or work in the film business. Lo and behold, I was about 19 and met a cousin for Christmas, and I didn't really know who he was. And my mom introduced me. He's from Hawaii, and he said he was an assistant director on a TV show called Lou Grant. I didn't know what Lou Grant was at the time. I'd never been on a movie set, etc. I had a final up at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. I was going to school and was taking classes San Luis and Cuesta JC. If anybody knows slow, go slow. So Monday he invited me to go down. I went down to, I forgot the final. I didn't go back to school. I went to CBS, Mary Tyler Moore, MTM production. I got to the set, and security guard said, Mr. McGee, here's a pass, go park on the lot. And I'm driving along, and I'm seeing all these actors, and then I see Ed Asner and et cetera, and they had a parking spot. I walked on the set, and I didn't know what my cousin did, and he screamed, everybody quiet on the set. I'm like, whoa, why did he do that? What's quiet? Okay, quiet. So I did. Well, lo and behold, he was his first assistant director to the director. So everything ran through him up to the time the director said, action. Whew, wow. But let me go backwards. I had just took the LAPD test at Hollywood High School. So now fast forward, I'm on the set. A week later, my mother called and said, you got the results from the LAPD. But while I was on the set of Lou Grant, I met another gentleman. And my cousin walked over and said, listen, this is my cousin Dwayne. What's your name? This is Roy Wallach. Roy said, listen. I said, what do you do, Roy? He says, I'm the president of the Screen Extras Guild. And this is all on the same date. My cousin said, would you like to get into business? I went, how do I do that? He said, do me a favor, just follow Roy. You're going to go over Lower Canyon, go down to Sunset Boulevard, and just do what he tells you. We did. I'm over by the Roxy, go upstairs. I hear this, people screaming out, be on Fantasy Island, Fall Bill Guy, TJ Hooker, Mark and Mindy, Happy Days. I mean, shows were shows back in the days, okay? He walks in, I sit down, he comes back about 30 minutes later. Congratulations, you're in the movie business.
That's
I got
what's
the
up.
Screen Extras Guild Union. He said, do you know how to drive back? I drove back to CVS, all excited. Ed Asner, the whole crew's clapping. He said, I tell you what, Dwayne, you're too young to really be on this show. I'm going to walk you over to another TV show. I think you might fit this really good. Stage 14. I go over and I see these young people, handsome like Jay, and they're all running around, and I'm like, wow, good-looking girls at the time. It's called The White Shadows. If anybody don't know what The White Shadows is, please look at The White Shadows. Okay, it's great. Bruce Petrol, Gwyneth Petrol, father, Mary Tyler Moore, Mark Tinker is producing, and I got on The White Shadows. And then so forth, so forth. I'll let you ask me questions as I continue on with my journey. I'll let you ask me some more questions.
Yeah, of course.
So I missed the LAPD and got in Hollywood. So do I miss being in the LAPD? I'll answer that questions in a few more minutes once Jay asks me a few more questions. I'll help fill the void.
Yeah, of course. So as you were growing up, so let's go way back. How were you as a kid? Like, mom and dad there or anything?
Oh,
or how did they influence you?
Yeah, well, it wasn't that. Being raised in South Central at the time, it's way before really. Cribs were starting, these gangs were all going up, but nothing major. My father built Inglewood. He was a contractor. So we were used to getting up. You got to go to work. You help out dad, you dig trenches, bring the wood on, lumber, and et cetera. So you had no choice. You get up and you have work ethics. Work ethics. And that came from dad as well as mom. A lot of people always say mom now and then dad. No, back then it was dad in conjunction with your mom. So yes, my father made sure we wind up getting to, go to work hard, concrete, whatever it was. Then when we didn't do the work, back in our days, you better be outside.
Yep.
Don't think about coming in until it's dark. Okay, we didn't have to worry about getting kidnapped or shot or whatever. That's how you learned to be tough back in the days and just had good work ethics.
So how do you see that now, how society is?
That's a great question. and as we're going back and forth all over this podcast right now, but
You're
sorry,
welcome.
you guys just work with me, okay, everybody? Please. After leaving the film business, just retiring, that's why I have this. Well, Jay didn't tell you why I have this vest on.
He strapped up.
I don't have my gun in here. It's in my hip, but not here. Okay. I just got my CCW, so I'm good. No, I just had a major spinal fusion, L4, L5, S1. So today, I'm on week 9.
It's awesome.
and I feel great. I'm straight, and it's all due to stunts. But let me get back to the question you asked me, Jay. How do I feel about the kids nowadays?
Yeah.
So I fast forward and retired from the movie business after being all broken up, and I started teaching Ed Parker's Kenpo here I taught in New Zealand. My wife's from Australia. So we had a school in New Zealand. I taught in Australia, Melbourne, and et cetera. And I started teaching here because Mr. Parker passed away. I was with Mr. Parker for all the way to the day he passed, the week he passed away. So I got my first Don under Mr. Parker. And I always said I'm going to come back and get back to the art for what Mr. Parker had given to all of us. So to answer your question, parents, stop being helicopter parents. Stop babying your children. I had kids that come in, they had a hump in their back, and I thought something was wrong, and et cetera. And the dad said, I have a problem. I don't know what to do. And he got this hump in his back. And I'm waiting for him to say that he has something physically wrong with him. And he says, listen, Johnny, go over there, and I'm going to talk to Mr. McGee. And I said, what's wrong? He says he's in his room watching video games. And he doesn't want to go outside. I don't know what to do. Now, you guys, I'm just told you I'm a cowboy a little bit.
Here we go.
My dad strapped me around the head. Okay. My mother did the finger pop. So I said, Johnny, get back over here. Do you mind, sir? I got to do something to your son. Go ahead. Show me what you're going to do. So Johnny comes over, had the hump. I said, turn around. I took my hand, spit in my hand. Whop! His back went straight. I said, now go on. Then he said, well, what do I do with the video? I picked up the cable, took the scissor, and I cut the cable. Problem solved. Stop being a helicopter parent. Also, if you sign a child up, whatever, swimming, soccer, whatever it may be, like my child, she cried, but we sat back and said, we're going to choose 3 things that my wife and I sat down. And it was realistic, and we chose, my wife's from Australia, and she chose swimming, me martial arts, and she was in agreement. And we both had horses. And you have no choice to Brianna. Because we said that at a 4.5, she didn't understand that. She just did what our parents told us to do. But we said, as she got a little bit older, you have to give 6 months. Listen to your parents. You gotta give at least 6 months. Let's think about this. When the kid goes to school, in the very beginning, how long does he take to get acclimated to the class? How long? Month? 2? 3? Oh yeah, 3 minimum. Before he starts crying, he has little friends, he knows how to be quiet, et cetera, et cetera. 6 months, now he's good. He's moving. Now you can sit back and you can watch him during that 6 months. Maybe that might not suit him. I put him in basketball instead of football or rugby or whatever it may be. But you got to make them work and not give up. What I've noticed, a lot of parents will sign them up, and when they cry or whine, okay, Johnny, you can quit. We'll try something else. But what did you teach them? How is that going to help them as they get older in life when they leave the nest and they have to get a job and work with a boss, a manager, or somebody they don't like? And they always are quitting because they got away with it. And the way things are going now compared to my era, I was telling you guys, you already know I'm from the 60s, to, okay, 50s. Things are moving a lot faster. They're moving way much faster with all this technology and et cetera, and that's what's wrong. We need to slow down a little bit, go back to Mother Earth, and let them work for it. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
With you speaking about certain things, how to slow it down, but now with social media and all this kind of stuff, it's like it's instant hits, instant information. How would you slow that down? Like,
okay, it depends on the age. Very good. That's a good question.
Okay.
I would again, let's start when they're young. Stop putting them on video games. They should be outside running around, cleaning up dog poop, horse, cat poop, cleaning leaves, putting dishes up, putting their clothes in the laundry basket, helping you put the dishes away, put clothes in the dryer, pull them out, teach them work ethics. You know, I was soft, and my wife she's a wonderful lady. And I baby Brianna, and she was getting mad. No, she's get over here, you can help. And I said, well, she's a little girl. But you know what, now looking back at what my wife did with the horses and the horse shows, getting up early in the morning and cleaning your own saddle, your own tack, going out mucking those stalls. And she's a 450 GPA IPAB classes. And she's the president of Link Crew. I tell my wife, thank you. And I cry every day because of what she's done. And I learned from her, sometimes things have to be a little tough, but she's okay. She survived it. She survived it. Now I got my little one. I started spoiling him, but I caught myself. And I said, no, I'm going to listen to my wife on this one.
that's awesome. Yeah. So with kids, I can't say too much because I don't have any of my own, but I'm around a lot, and they're awesome. And
May I share this real quick before you said that? It doesn't matter what age you have the kid. I have a beautiful miracle baby at 47. I'm 66 now.
Well, you look good for 66, all right?
I'm broken up, but thank you, Jay. I appreciate it.
Shred it out.
When I have a 5-year-old. You know, most people, I'll tell them I have a 5-year-old, and they go, "Oh, I had a 5-year-old," and they go, "Yeah, but they're my grandparents, and they're going to go home." I said, "Well, mine ain't going home." And they went, "Wait, did you just say you have a 5-year-old?" Yes. And I tell you, there's sometimes a lot of you elder people out there listening to this that are grumpy and mad and the world and politics. Go around children. Go around people like Jay. Go to the gym. Think young. Think of how you used to be when you were young. Stop seeing you getting old. There's going to be a time when you know you're old. But if you can still move, go fishing, go to the gym, I go to the shooting range, have fun. Be around kids. Be around young teenagers. They'll keep you young.
Yeah, which I've learned so much. Hence why I try and be around kids who are more active. Actually, most kids are active, but with adults, they're just trying to sit around and do the same thing year after year. I'm like, I'm going to go around the kids where they want to go on a bike ride. I want to be active. I want to think how they think. And the minds they have. It's just like, oh, there's a unicorn. You know, for us adults, we're like, those are fake. But with that, you have a closed mind. You just close things off. Hence why I'm like, yeah, that's a really cool pink unicorn. And I'm like, that is awesome. And then they're like, Jay, let's go do this. I'm like, yes, let's go. Because I'm not trying to, let's say, this is going to be harsh, like raise weak kids, but at the same time, that's kind of vague because how you were saying, and what I've learned, each kid is their own kid, and I did not know that. I'm like, they're all the same. They all need to go to school. They all need to do chores. But, yeah, you can't really speak to certain kids the way you would speak to other kids because you have some who are like, ooh, they can't take it. They're too sensitive, which is fine. You just have to adapt on how to talk to them.
Well, yes, but I notice a lot of the kids, especially the teenagers or my daughter, they come to our house. Why? And what I've heard, my wife and I are a little more real to them. We tell them like it is. And they sit back and go, my parents never talked to me like that. So sometimes it's okay. You just tell it like it is. They're okay. They'll bounce back.
Yeah, you hope they'll bounce back.
No, they will. And you can't solve all of them. But the ones you can, say what you got to say. And you mentor that 1, 2, 10, and some who might just fall off to the wayside. But you got to be real. Just be real.
That's awesome. How do you see everybody should know a martial art, either self-defense, boxing, jiu-jitsu, Kenpo, which at first I was like, why Kenpo? What's the point of that? Just stay away or go in. There's no hi-ya stuff. But
I'm not going to get into what style. That's not what I'm here for.
Okay.
Okay, you're going to get me in trouble on this podcast.
Well, you said
I
you
love
talk about
everybody. And I'm very good friends with, God bless, Gene LaBelle. Right now, he'll be right by my neck. Kid, I'm going to crank you out. Fuck.
Break his neck off.
Simon Reed, whap, bam. Kick me in the head. Chuck North, Mr. Parker, pull my eyeballs. So I love everybody. But getting back to your question. See, politically correct.
This is going to be viral for everyone. So,
Okay. But, yes, they should. I'm going to try. I got to be careful what I say.
it's fine. It's raw. Don't go to the ground, right?
I'll give you an example. Okay. I try not to, because we're all one. We bleed red. We're all one. Doesn't matter what part of the world it comes from. But then every once in a while, you're going to have an idiot or all racist. Okay? All racist. Okay? And I'm in New Zealand, and I had stopped doing martial arts for a while because I was very busy doing stunts and et cetera. So you have to make a choice, you know. You can make money in martial arts, but in the film business, I was making a lot more money. So the moral of my story is I'm in the gym in Auckland, New Zealand, and this guy from South Africa, very racist. Now, I'm from South Central. I'm from America, okay? You never thought. I already dealt with everything here, so I'm in New Zealand. And he called me the certain word, and I'm like, wow, okay.
Here it goes.
Here we go. Now I'm trying to get my residency, so if I pick up this 5-pound plate and hit him in the head, I'm not going to get him my residency. If I dive through the window with her, I'm definitely not, I'm going to get deported. So I got to think. Why did I just mention that? Jay, why did I mention that?
Because you know what you could do, and I'm hoping you've
How
thought
did I
so
know
far.
what I can do?
The practice you have? I don't know. You're about to tell me.
Many years of being in the martial arts.
Yeah, you've learned to fight so you don't have to fight.
But that, let me get to that now. But that took, you should go all the way and become a first Don, a 1%er, no matter what art. You'll learn all that through your journey, okay?
So is that like a black belt for
Yes.
jiu-jitsu and like
Yes.
karate,
Yeah.
taekwondo kind of
Yeah.
thing?
You know how your brain is working in milliseconds. Besides my stunts, you slow down, you're breathing, you think the consequences, you're looking, you're watching, etc. It kept me calm. But when I get to answering your question, you asked me, what do I feel? So when this happened, and I slowed down doing martial arts, I swore I would never, I'm going back and I never stop again. Because I felt, in law enforcement, they call it, they had different colors. I went in the yellow zone, which is the sheep zone. And because I'm in a different country, I'm like, oh my God, rainbows and everything's great. But you got the same problems, see? And not as intense as where we probably come from, but it's still going to be there. So the martial art, for me, was a great thing. But somehow in this conversation, I got to go back because I didn't have the self-esteem. I love my dad, love my mom, everything, but Dad was busy. And he wasn't there. A lot of things like football games, karate lessons, etc. And I joined the martial arts in conjunction just to find out who was Dwayne. You know, not being macho, but then there was a point, even you, anybody is young, you guys all here, girls too, you get a little cocky, and you're going around the streets thinking you're tough or whatever. And then I realized by the time I got blue belt, green belt of any art, Jesus, especially like purple and BJJ, God, I was walking on the street thinking I'm tough, and that blue belt could have choked me out. That Kenpo guy could have chopped me into my esophagus, put my testicle out.
Whoa.
Well, that humbled me very quickly. And then I had a couple black belts that humbled me very quickly.
Every day.
Every day. And I got up saying, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. So, but anyway, I made a goal to stick it out, going back to what I was talking about earlier. I said, no matter what, I'm going to stick to this one art. I don't care what people feel about this style, but I enjoy it. Fit my body. It fit my body. I'll say that again. I knew I couldn't. I was doing a lot of Tong Sudo back in the days, and other things, but Kenpo fit me. Okay. And it said it doesn't matter how long I'm going to become a black belt, and I'm working on movie sets at the time, so we're working 15-hour days. Working long hours. I never saw an 8-hour day for working in the film business. 5 days a week. Hill Street Blues, etc. So I'm on a set, and whenever you guys get time, when you make excuses about becoming a black belt, don't. That is weak. So you can practice anywhere, in the office, in the bathroom, going to get your food, turn the light on, because you'll learn to contour a wall, how to do a front crossover, how to pick up a coffee cup and keep your elbows anchored for boxing. I can go on and on. So when I was on Hill Street, you guys will love this story, they had these stunt people came in. And now I probably was around a purple belt in Ed Parker's Kenpo at the time. And I heard about these famous stuntmen. Here we go. Gene LaBelle, Tanaka, Bioriyasaki, rest in peace, and Gene LaBelle now. Gene just passed away, God bless him. Beautiful man. Hell of a stuntman too. Mike Lambert, Al Leon, Jeff Amata, they're all with Danny Asanto. Yeah, all these people come around and say they're working. I've seen these people, but they're moving and they're practicing. They're doing their art a little bit. because you can get to the dojo. And when I saw that, I said, don't make an excuse. You can always practice anywhere, even on your job. Just be careful in front of your boss. Going, okay, guys. I didn't tell you to kick the water thing off the thing, okay? Very subtle, okay? Just make moves softly. You know, you can do either your kata softly. You don't need a big room. You know, people said, I had a guy that said, you martial artists do these katas, and I don't want to do a kata. I said, okay. You saw Paul? What are you? You go, good. Get in your fighting stance. Good. Throw me your left jab. Good. Move your right foot up the circle. Throw me your left jab. Boom. Move your right foot up the circle. Throw me your left jab. Good. And we went all the way around. We went from 12 to 6, back to 12. I walked away, and he says, what did I just do? I said, you just did a kata.
So what is a kata? I'm just sitting here. I'm just like, that's cool. Can you explain more on that?
Martial arts, yes, absolutely. Yeah, get involved with martial arts. It might not be for everybody, but give the kid a taste to be around other people, to get tapped, hit, getting tapped, hit, learning when to lose and how to get back up, and keep practicing. Not in the dojo, even at home. At home, you have to do your homework. People come to me and they say, well, I just finished school. And their minds get relaxed when they come to the dojo. And a lot of martial art instructors, I'm a sort of old school, you're too worried about paying for the bill to keep that dojo open. That's sort of why I like a smaller school. Because I say, when you walk to my school, you're still in school.
Yeah, you're there to learn.
You're still to learn.
And get beat up.
I don't know about getting beat up,
Okay.
but you're still to learn. Okay, Jay said that. I agree.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
No, I'm just joking. But you're still there to learn. You're still there to learn. And it all encompasses everything you're going to do as far as your work, your job, etc. I'm still doing it now at my age. 66. Oh, God, that hurt. But I'm still young. Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, so since you being around a while, I was about to say a long time, being around the martial art, what does respect mean to you? Because for me, how I was raised, I didn't have my dad around to put that, or his foot down, right? My mom had left when I was like, I don't know, young. I don't even remember. All I know is pictures. So for me, I was wild, but I was always out of the house.
Sorry. Say it again. You didn't have your dad
Around, yes.
and your mother left when you were young.
No. So she was around.
Okay.
He was gone. He wasn't even in the picture. I didn't even know that.
No
So with that, I would say I wasn't raised like a helicopter parent.
Yeah.
You know, she was like, you're wild.
Good.
You're out. Or out as in go play. But yes, at 18, I was out.
Good.
Because I pushed my brother and I broke his collarbone. And she was like, you're still wild. You're out.
That was an accident.
Well, I'm not going to get into that. That's
God. Okay.
yeah.
You shouldn't do martial arts.
No, well, for me, I wanted to get
And no
humble.
weapons in your hands, too.
Got a pin. No.
I see that on your hat up there. Okay.
So over this hat, Mark at First Defense, I've learned him.
Mark, you better check his eyes. He's a little dangerous, okay? Okay, Mark. Okay.
No,
Be careful
Mark,
your
you're
students,
awesome.
Mark.
And he is going to take your class soon. So, because he's senior Instagram, and you on point. But anyways, Mark, you're awesome. Okay, anyways.
But back to martial arts.
Yeah. So for me, I just had to learn certain things and who I was around, my main friends, which I'm awesome for. I was small in high school. So for martial arts, it helped me out. And
What age were you when you got into martial arts? Was it your mother that put you in a martial art or
No.
a friend?
so my mom would just work. She was into bad stuff, and I wasn't trying to be around that. So I just kind of went off on my bicycle with my friends, and we just had our own thing. We were out and about. And back when, yes, you did have to be home when the street lights were on, but you would have to call. Back when we didn't have cell phones, if you had a cell phone, you were kind of upper class. We had to use payphones, and back when food stamps and all that kind of stuff.
But how the martial arts?
So martial arts, I just seen that I was small in high school.
But how did you wind up getting to the dojo?
I just seen it actually on TV, right? And
Right.
my friends were way bigger than I was, and they would not pick on me for fun, but like headlocks and all that kind of stuff like that. And I'm like, I need to know what to do, because what happens in actual life, if either at a park or wherever, at a bar, and you don't know what you're doing, and you have your wife with you, like if you're at a park, you have your kids with you, and someone's drunk or just not in their right mind.
Well, how did you know? Because I know you did BJJ, right? And it's big in this town.
Jiu-jitsu.
Everybody.
For people who don't know what BJJ stands for. Brazilian.
So there's all these different styles, but this town is BJJ.
Yeah.
You know, I brought Kenpo into this town, but it was hard to fight, and now I'm respecting this town. So, did you go to your mother and say, "Hey, I want to do BJJ"? Because it costs money, and who paid for it, and what gave you that drive? Well, you just said you needed that drive because you're getting picked on.
So I actually started after I was out of school.
Oh, so you got out of high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started probably like 20 something.
Okay.
So it was not
Copy.
anywhere. Mom, dad, this paid for it. No, it was all me.
I'm sorry. I thought we were back younger, back in high school, and etc. Okay, so yeah, you got older, and you just said, "I want to go into a martial arts," and you did, and you became a blue belt. Am I right?
Purple belt.
Or purple? Okay.
I haven't been in a while, so
Yeah.
I would say I'm like a 2-stripe white belt. It's all right. But yes, I didn't really want my purple belt. But while I was receiving my belt, I asked my instructor, Tom Cronin, what's happening? What?
Tom, I told you I'm bringing my son to you later on
Oh, yeah.
next year. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
See, it's a small world. Yeah, everybody knows
Small
everybody.
world, Tom. You never know who you talk about. I see you in the gym when I get better. Go ahead.
Beast. So yeah, I was like, what happens if I don't accept this belt? He's like, you have no say. You know, because I'm not one to try and get certain belts. I don't care.
Good.
I'm just there to learn, because if you don't learn, you're dying, right? Does that
Yeah,
make-
but having a belt is a goal. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you stay humble within yourself, it's good to set a goal to get that first dan. Get the first dan. You're okay. I have people in my system right now are a little. I gotta get a 7th. I gotta get an 8th. You guys, you're a little young, but back in my days, a 3rd dan, that was awesome. It's huge. 4th, huge.
So is that stripes on a belt? Is it
On
Don?
an art system and a lot of systems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So going back, yeah, it was all me.
Good.
I'm a very active person. So for me, I always have something to do. So I was riding BMX forever, since, I don't know, 8th grade. And then I crashed really bad without a helmet on. Dumb, I know.
Safety first.
Yes.
Talking
But
to a
of
stunt
course, you know, I was doing awesome that day. I'm like, these tricks, we're getting clips for video and all this kind of stuff.
And you had no helmet on.
Yes, and I crashed hard onto
Do you see
my
my
face.
look at you? You're talking to a stuntman. Did you have elbow pads on?
I had no gear on.
What?
No
Okay,
gloves.
we can stop this interview right quick.
So
Stuntman,
kids, safety first.
I don't know him. So you kids out there, please, safety first. Period.
You might look weird, but are they going to pay your bills?
It doesn't matter about how you look. I'll give you an example. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Too late. I'm kidding.
Okay, just sit there and listen to you, elder. So I got on my horse about 3 years ago. My daughter comes out to me, and I had, if you guys know about Latico, it had a split, about a ½ inch. But I'm just going to go get on my horse and plot around in my yard. We have horses on property, etc. And my daughter goes, "You shouldn't do that." And I'm like, I've been doing this for years. I know what I'm doing. It's like, I don't know, horse. I'm plotting around. But something said, "Oh, you feel great. Let's get going." Going. Let's get a little bit more. And I went around, but I went wide out of the soft dirt. And lo and behold, the laticle snapped and the saddle rolled, and I fractured my clavicle, Jay, because I didn't listen to my daughter, and I'm 25 years as a stuntman.
Oh my gosh.
So what is the word I'm trying to tell you? Safety first.
Yeah.
And that was really, yeah. Anyway, but the martial art, you're going to go into the martial art world because I don't want to stick too much in the martial arts.
Yeah. But it's so fun. No. So yeah, after I crashed, I was like, okay, I'm not making any money off of this hobby. And I almost just died. And I was like, okay, is this worth it? Yes, I'm staying active. You're being around certain people. Cool. But how is it affecting your life? And I'm like, okay, cool. And also at the skate parks, you see fights, right? It's like, oh, skateboarder, bikers, whatever. Cool. Awesome. They fight. Cool. I'm not trying to be the person who gets beat up. I'm like, oh, I'm a bigger guy, even though I don't see myself as a big guy. But that's for another story. So I was like, okay, let me heal my face up because it was all scabbed up. And then I'm okay. Let me just do this if the kids want to go out. Just go for a bike ride, do simple tricks, 360s, and all this kind of stuff. And it's cool because when you do action sports, a lot of it transfers over to each sport, which is nice. So I was like, okay, I need to be active. And I was always in the gym, but this is going to sound kind of harsh. The gym is easy. You just push and pull weight at certain angles. That is all you do. Of course, you have to kind of know how the body works, like the range of motion. Cool. That's it. But with like a martial art, you have to think. In the gym, you don't really think about anything except for pushing and pulling weight. So I'm like, okay,
Be careful of those bodybuilders listening to this podcast, but go ahead.
No. For them, it's awesome to see because it's a hard sport to stay focused and eat the right food and think the right mindset and all that kind of stuff.
Very good.
I see that.
That wasn't your forte.
Yes.
That wasn't your forte.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I'm not trying to be the person looking big who gets beat up.
Right.
But there's a lot of people who won't go up to those people and be like, let's go, because they are strong. They're really strong. And you're not trying to get in a headlock because they'll probably pop your head off quick, right? So I watched the UFC, and I was like, okay, I should probably learn something like this. So I went to a couple gyms, just try them out. and just kind of asked which is the best sport to if something happens in some kind of self-defense. And so I started doing MMA, but it was all sporadic. Like you would do this, this, and this, like boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, all in one, and to wrestle as well, which of course MMA, mixed martial arts, right? So with that being said, I was in it for a while, cool, being taught by a higher blue belt, which is awesome because I didn't even know what guard was. I'm like, all right. So from there, I was in it for a while, and then I was told, hey, if you want to learn a sport and get solid at it, just do that sport. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And doing boxing, Muay Thai, you get hurt, you get kicked in the head, you get knocked out, all that kind of stuff. You can't go full contact 100% hard and not get hurt. Jiu-Jitsu, you can go 100% and not get hurt. Of course, you have to be mindful of the joints
and tendons.
Yes, you'll be good. So I was like, okay. And the percent of a fight going to the ground is high. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, let me go with that. And if you watch stuff on the internet and all that kind of stuff, yes, you could be caught with like a haymaker, get knocked out, you're done, fight's over. Cool. It looks cool, but you might break your hand. If your hand's not strong or if you don't have your wrist straight and all that kind of stuff. So for me doing jiu-jitsu, it was nice.
Good.
Because it's the gentle art, right? You just roll around and snap limbs off, right?
Yeah. So you're happy.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
There you go.
But when I met you and I was like, Kenpo, I was kind of closed off. I'm like,
yes, you were.
Hand fighting. Okay. I'm just not trying to get close. But what happens if you're in a confined spot? You can't make that distance. And for law enforcement, that's huge because you can't really talk to a person and be good if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, you can be like, hey, like from a stop right there. And then, of course, you have to kind of be up close and personal. And, of course, if you're going to handcuff somebody. I don't know all the terms. Sorry, guys.
Manipulations.
Yes. So you kind of have to do that up close and personal.
Law enforcement, for what I've seen all across the country, a lot of them should go back and learn good manipulation. If you understand manipulation in a calm fashion, you'll be more comfortable without reaching for the weapon.
Hence.
And I've seen it quite a bit. I've seen it working at Pachanga, Silk Club. The ones who didn't know got more trouble because they didn't know. Once you understand manipulations and do your drills, you'll be more comfortable when you become gaseous. Become gaseous. You'll have volume seeking liquid. Liquid becomes gaseous like jiu-jitsu. And that's when you have to understand your manipulations within that gaseous state. And then you can open up to volume where you expand and put your locks on them better. So understand those three different elements: liquid, volume, gaseous. Now, within those three, going in, remember you had the reverse of that. Now you can take that equation, volume, or liquid and gaseous, and interchange them. However, that timing and that rhythm is going to happen. But understand those three different elements or components when you're in a close quarter combat situation. Doesn't matter what system, doesn't matter style, I'm not going to get into that. But understand liquid volume, seeks gaseous.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense because with jiu-jitsu,
Scientific.
oh yeah, with leverage and all that kind of stuff, we can get deep into
Absolutely, yes.
But yeah, for me, what in my head was hips, grips, and posture.
Right.
So with you, grips, and I'm sure this will apply to all ages. Grips. If someone grabs your shirt, if you're a kid or you're older or whatever, certain ways you can do to get that grip off.
You said grab shirts.
Yeah.
I like grabbing skin.
Yeah, but you got some people who don't
have skin. I said I like grabbing skin. Everybody got skin.
I know. I'm like,
I grab your neck. I'm from the Green Beret system. Sorry.
Oh, you're going dirty fighting, but actually,
sorry.
In the streets, practically anything goes.
I do street jujitsu. Oop, my finger went up. Sorry.
Wet Willie, huh?
Sorry.
It's
just joking.
He's not really.
I'm old. I don't do those
He's
things.
old school.
Old people do that, okay? Please. Go home to see a better day tomorrow. All that running around, I'm done. I'm going home.
That's awesome. So, yeah, for me, to learn an art, it has went into all aspects of my life about respect.
Well, I'm going to tell you, listening to you, Jay, I commend you for what you said, not having a father and having the knowledge to go ahead and join the martial arts and becoming a very good martial artist, what I saw you did, and you're very humble. Cocky, but you're humble cocky. And I like that. You have an edge on you. And even asking me to come do this podcast, that's being humble. And I respect that for that.
Because I know for a fact that I don't know everything. I don't think anybody knows everything.
No, you don't. But you do need to, if you do ever again, besides me, go to somebody about any art, empty your cup. You didn't empty your cup prior to. Don't let one system taint you, because that becomes very dangerous.
That's why I like being around you. I like to learn certain, things. So he had actually showed me something that kind of made me think, right? So he did like an arm tap, slap, and then he moved somewhere else. I was like, okay, for what I know, jiu-jitsu, it's just grab, powerful. Of course, you chill and breathe and go, trick, all this kind of stuff. But with that, it's a full contact sport. For what you did, yes, it's full contact, but you made me think more about the brain. I'm sure there's terms for this, the sympathetic nervous and all that kind of stuff, right? So you made me think. And you hit me faster than how I could compute for someone who wasn't aware of what's going on, which most people who don't know any self-defense, they're like, oh, he's about to foot sweep me. Or he just hit me there, low, up. It's kind of like if you're doing boxing. You can't just keep doing something because they'll figure it out.
They figure it out, exactly.
Yeah. So for what you did to me, it was like a slight tap, and then a hard slap, and then you move to a different spot of the body. And I was like, I'm going to step back.
In Kenpo, it doesn't matter at Kenpo. I shouldn't use that word because, again, I don't want to pigeonhole myself. But Mr. Parker had this thing called a sphere. And the sphere, every artist doing it. But what was great about Mr. Parker going to a different system, he never tried to get you to understand the Kenpo system. He wanted you to think within your system using the sphere. What is your angles? Why are you moving? How many different angles? can you do on the vertical, horizontal, and diagonal planes, and having good footwork. Having good footwork. Always. Now, because you didn't continue on, blood disruption, nerve disruption, to mess with the psyche and the mind as you're moving different angles. And that's what I was doing to you. Now, if I tell you more, you have to pay me.
Sign me up. No. That's awesome.
But I enjoy getting back a little bit. I did Die Hard 2. And because I was around so many martial arts, matter of fact, I met Jorge and Gracie on Hill Street Blues. Good looking, mustache.
Fresh.
Yeah, fresh. And he's over there. He's always on the set. He's practically, he can't get to the class, and he's looking and going. And I'm over here, blah, boom, boom. And he's like, what do you do? I do, what do you do? Because you're always bobbing and weaving and stuff. But his ears wasn't that bad. His ears were good at the time. And like, he's good looking, and he's doing martial. I said, I live in Palos Verdes. He goes, oh, I live in Torrance. Okay. Why don't you come by my house? This is back in the 82, 3, around in there. Earlies. And I would never forget, I walked in and he had all this food, and the nuts can't go with the fruit, and the fruit can't go with this food. You got to eat this and eat that. Oh, shit, I'm trying to stuff. Then we go in the garage, and I said, now look, I don't know what you do, but I know you're doing this jiu-jitsu stuff. But I knew about it from Gene LaBelle. I'm just joking with him, but I already knew about it. Because Gene was big at the time in the stunt world, so that's how we all met about jiu-jitsu. And he came to shoot my leg, and I tapped him with a little hand sword, chop it, he kept going. I'm like, do you understand what I just did? What do you want me to do? Go all the way through your freaking throat? Then he climbed up behind me like a little snake, and I'm like, he's getting a little fresh here. God, Jesus. God. I had to poke his eye to get him off of me. And we stopped. But I would tell you, I went back, and I talked to Mr. LaBelle behind it, and he goes, oh, you were some Horians? Yeah. And he loved Mr. Parker. Him and Mr. Parker got on because Parker was big in the day. I don't care what system you are, you came through Mr. Parker, especially Long Beach Arena, the IKK tournaments, etc. And I said, Gene, I'm with Mr. Parker. He goes, hey kid, tell Mr. Parker that guy put some of that grappling and choking in your Kenpo art. Okay, Mr. LaBelle. And I went back to Mr. Parker, and I said, Mr. Parker, I met Mr. LaBelle, and he goes, Mr. Parker had that beautiful Hawaiian hair, all shiny. He was sitting behind his desk. He goes, his hair just shook. Boom! He goes, oh, the meanest man in the world. And he's walked right out the thing, and I went, okay, that system must be a good system, BJJ, or, at the time. And I went, wow, it's pretty good. But I was so far into Kenpo, like I said, don't leave a bunch of different systems. Stick with one system, no matter what it is. Get your first Dan, then start venturing out. You might like your system you're doing, and you stick with that. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. The only reason I never continued on, and now hear this out, this is very important. I never continued on in BJJ, and I really wanted to do it after I got my first Dan at Kenpo. I had been doing stunts, so I tore all my groin at the time. I ripped my stomach muscles, my shoulder, rotator, and I couldn't afford to get tweaked up a little bit more. And that was the reason. But I will have my son, he will, as he gets older, he's going to do Kenpo, but he's going to do ground, and he's going to have boxing, and he's going to have Kenpo. And I'm good to go with all three of them. I'm happy. Now, look, listen, Daniel Santo, I love you. I love Wing Chun. I love all the different systems. Okay, Taekwondo, Tang Sudo. Okay, I love them all. Listen, it's a bowl of fruit. Take your notepad in. Before you take it in, take your cup, turn it upside down. Empty it, and make sure you ream it out so you're completely honest with yourself. And then sit it down and walk in with your notepad and pen. And he might, or she might do a few things, quite a few things. You might like one. You might like 10 things they did. But when you see it, ask why and practice it when you go back to your art. Don't see it and walk away from it because you won't retain what just happened. You have to come back and say, ma'am, sir, can you show me again? And show me again. It's no different than going to the gym. It's no different than going shooting. You can't just go, oh, I just saw it. Okay, I'm going to walk away. Really? Well, my shots are all over there, and his is there, but I never asked him, well, how did you get there? I have to be the man enough or woman to say, I don't know, and I really want to learn that one move. And when you go home and master that move, and you keep going back to that instructor, male or female, and work on it, and then come back and go, okay, you're good. Now let's get to the next move. Because honestly, you can have all your different grappling, all your different pokes, but it might only take 3 things you only really need to master.
The basics, mainly, right?
No, to get out of a life or death situation.
Oh, yes, yes.
So I'm talking street. I'm not going to play games.
Yeah, because you have somebody...
Well, yeah, that's true, but you only understand that as you get older.
Yeah, hence why I'm trying to share your wisdom and knowledge with people.
Right. And I didn't understand. When I was your age, I wanted to go out and fight everybody. I'm moving around. It's called wasted motion.
Okay.
A lot of wasted motion. Remember that volume, seeking gaseous? Well, geez, in my sphere, I'm all over there. There's gaps all between my elbows. I'm like, man, thank God I didn't get, And so after a while, you start condensing and tightening up everything. And I realized when I tore my stomach muscle, I couldn't move my hands all over the place. And I went, why am I moving all the way and my limbs are out there when I can just move my whole body with it? Oh, what do I mean by that? I became more gaseous with my weapons. So when I go mass on a horizontal or vertical plane, mass footwork times speed, not speed times mass. But can you change that? Yes, you can. You can pepper them up. You can change it. But when you get older, you want mass. So you can penetrate the spinal column a lot faster.
You seem very dangerous.
You gotta pay me for that one now.
So we will have a special rate, $9.95. No, I'm kidding. So kids, how do you?
I don't teach them. There you go.
I'm gonna let you two teach them. No,
I did.
I was kidding.
I did. I'm terrible. I'm not gonna fit. My wife goes, you got to pay the bills. I don't care about the bills. I don't want these kids. So the girls are great. I had a bunch of 8, 9-year-old, 10-year-old girls. Oh, but the brains are wired. They listen, sir, and they just, boom, they're moving beautiful. Somehow they get older and they left. But I wind up getting like 10 or 12 boys. Man, they're all over the place. I lost my hair. I already had a hair, but now I'm getting more gray.
Hey, me too.
And I'm going, honey, I can't do this. So I said, all my instructors, please, you go teach. Teaching is great. It's all really good. I think that everyone is listening to me. My personal opinion. When I see someone come in at 3, 4, parents, you can do things at home.
Some water? I'm kidding.
vodka. So, Crown Royal's better, but I'm on pills right now, so. So
that's dangerous.
So do little things because you don't have the time, you don't have the patience to work with your child. Do little drills at home. Let them know. Doesn't understand his right hand, and he doesn't understand his left hand. But you're talking to him as an adult, and you're standing up as an adult to a child. Why don't you get on your knees and come down to eye level to them, into their world? Humble yourself to come to them and talk to them. Instead of saying the right hand is your rabbit hand. This is your lion hand. And watch their eyes get big. So I had to learn to come into that kid's world. I was too much being the martial art for older people like you, higher. And that was a humbling for me coming from a stunt world, a bunch of cowboys, and it was, I have 20-something years of working with some serious stunt people, and everything's go, 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 go. Now I retire, and I come teach martial arts, and I got to pay the bills. And my wife said, you're getting a little too hard. So it took me about 3 or 4 years, but I tell you what, I started having more fun. But for me, the 3 or 4 is tough for me. My daughter, great, she's awesome. I enjoy 7 to 10. Yeah, that 8, 9, 10. Now their body's moving different. They're not goofy looking all over the place.
Squirrel.
You could talk to them. They listen and understand that a little bit without crying. That's just me. There's other people. I went to other dojos and I see instructors my age even, and I watch how they teach, and it's just. But that is their forte for my stunts of 25 years. You got it? So if you're older trying to teach children young, you better be very humble.
Yeah.
To do that. Or have a lot of very good instructors under you. I just moved here in town, so I didn't have black belts to say, well, you take that group and that group and that group. I'm all over the place. And that was very difficult for me. Very difficult. But I learned, see?
Okay.
I had to listen to my wife. I had to empty my cup. See, I let my ego get a little too far, and I said, Dwayne, you got to practice where you preach. Empty your cup. And I did. And then I started having fun.
That's awesome. So
I got a 5-year-old right now. It drives me nuts. And every once in a while, I got to go, Hoosa.
Yeah.
Bad boys, what you going to do? Sorry, go ahead.
For parents who aren't in martial arts, what advice would you give to them if they did something bad? Like,
I give you an example.
To discipline them. There we go. What ways do you do it? And
first, you talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, Cody, you can't do that. You have to go to school. You can't be putting hands on. You might not understand what I'm saying. As you get up in life, you're going to realize you're still too young to understand, but you can't do that. You can go to jail, and then later on, he doesn't understand what you're saying, but you can get in a fight. You can get punched, or somebody can hit you over the head with a rock or a bat. And hey, you know what? Hey, a kid can do it. A kid can do it.
Yeah.
Yes, they can. It depends on what area you're raised. But if you come from the city, yes, they can do it at 3 and 4 years old. Okay? But because you live in a very nice area, just be careful, okay? But I would tell them, you're on timeout, take a deep breath, and you got to sit down and talk to them. And then if they can't, they're hitting more people, I like putting slaps on their little arms to let them feel what the pain is like. I'm not hurting them. And I let them feel the sting and the blood. And I ask, how did you just feel? And I wait until they answer. I want them to think, and I calm. I'm yelling at them. I want them to think, And I want you to take a deep breath and think about it. How did that feel? But I don't do that hit in the beginning. It's after I talked to him and went through all these different scenarios. Then, if I realized it's not getting there, I had to make him feel what he's doing to another kid.
So,
a spanking.
Yeah.
Well, spanking.
And then nowadays, I've heard some kids at school, they're like, oh, my parents hit me.
Whoa, here we go. I knew we were going to go there.
No, because I'm just trying to not have parents out there be like, Dwayne said it's okay. Here's what he does.
No. I didn't say no. I did not at school.
No. I'm saying after and when they're in school, they're like, my parents hit me. So you can kind of see.
Well, the teacher should say very good. That's the problem.
In your opinion,
I'm proud of him. Can I have your dad's number? I'll give him a call. Mom, too.
Here's my kids, too.
Here's my kids. Break them to me. Sorry.
Oh, my gosh.
I'll tell you, you asked me to come to the podcast, though.
I'm trying to help them stay out of jail, all right? So,
Sorry, everybody.
So mainly you're saying talk to them, ask them why, then just
why?
Going straight in.
Yeah. Cody, my son, got hit the other day, and he's in kindergarten.
Okay.
And my wife just told me the little kid popped him in the eye. Wow. So what happens as a parent or dad? You're like,
yep.
What?
Hot.
Quick. He hit him in the eye. But my wife was like, she was proud of Cody because Cody did not swell up and start swinging. And I'm like, why? Because he realized the kid already had problems in class picking on other kids. So and the kid only did one hit, but he didn't continue following through. So Cody said, no, you're wrong, stop. And that's what we taught, how to speak up. Use your voice. Use your voice. Talk to him. And say, no, stop. Bad. And then the teacher heard it because he brought attention, and then so when they discipline. Okay? Now, I asked my wife, but when can he hit back? But yeah, of course. I mean, if you're going to the teacher, you're going to the principal, you do all these different checklist things, sooner or later, you're just going to have to, it is what it is. Sorry, it is what it is. And you teach the kid, okay, so that's very careful. It's just like, okay, I teach Kenpo. I can't teach my kid how to poke eye. You got a heel palm to the. I can't
to
teach
the nose.
So I soften all their weapons. Soften all their weapons. So you understand? Instead of heel palm, it could be a slap. Bam! It could be a slap on the arm. Like getting a spanking. When you get a sting, what happens?
Yeah, you're like, you have to think
No,
about
your body goes what?
It goes like...
No, it goes ha.
Okay.
And when you go ha, and the sting is there, what happens to your brain?
It's all there.
You start thinking.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
So now you got the kid thinking.
Yeah.
If you hit with a punch, his core is tight. So he learned from his dad to take the punch. So he's going to swing back, isn't he? But when you slap and sting him, the blood is still there, tingling. And the mind, you disengage the core. Now you use your voice. Stop! Because he's thinking. That's anybody. That's even adults.
All right, so...
Why do you think guys are drinking, they go out to a club and get in a fight over something stupid? Because they're not what?
They're not thinking.
Thinking. So how do you get them to think?
Slap
them. You get this, and it's quiet for a minute.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, I don't want to talk. As I said at the beginning, I am not that kind of person. I I read any martial arts, even you. It doesn't matter what rank I am. Even you came to me. You don't think I was watching what Tom was teaching you? Sorry, Tom, I'm going to steal it. I did. He didn't know anything, but I thought
I'm still a purple. I don't know too much. Trust me. I didn't want to be a purple.
No. But I did. I watch, your instructor, Tom. I see him in the gym. I watch the way he walks. He's smooth. He's confident. And he watched me. Smooth and confident. And that's why we got along. I love him. I watch everybody, how the demeanor, how they move. And then when you find out, which I did not know what Tom was, it made me respect him even more. And I hope vice versa for me, once he found out what I did, because you go, wow, they're very humble. It doesn't matter what I saw. I met Dan Henderson. I'm like, that's Dan Henderson. And he's smooth as silk.
He's awesome.
Smooth
I've met
as
him a couple
silk.
times.
And that there is a gentleman or a woman or whoever it may be. You know, I salute them. And I want to be like that, because fighting is easy. Walking away from a fight is better. That's being a true black belt. But you still, we have that little genie that's sitting right there. That if we know we need to tap into it, it's there, with a smile though.
Yeah.
So all art is great. I love everything I did. Matter of fact, the martial art made me a great stuntman.
Like
The martial art made me a good stuntman. I was able to listen, watch. I saw things in millennial seconds as you're doing high falls, car hits. I was used to taking hits from being in the dojo, slap, hit, pull, rips for hitting the concrete. I knew how to breathe for doing judo rolls.
Oh, it's a big one.
Big ones. But don't forget, I get every martial artist, to be a stuntman. Okay. Tommy had a couple of your students to love you. And they go, let's put the mat down. I said, mat? You better hit that concrete over there. Well, you got to, but no. If you want to do jiu-jitsu too sometimes, go out on the railroad track to see what's going to happen out there when there's glass on the ground, etc. But the martial art made me a very good, and I believed in myself for what I did in the dojo. So my confidence went up really high. I wasn't supposed to be a stuntman. No, not at all. That wasn't my forte. I went to probably be a sound man or a cameraman. I just fell into it accidentally because of Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed. God bless him. And when I did a lot of shows with him, unfortunately Dana went on and won, and they realized they knew martial arts. And Gene LaBelle had my little 8x10 photo. Back in the days, everybody had a kick. Every 8x10 had a wah!
I've seen that.
Everybody had the kicks. And Gene LaBelle, he saw my 8x10. Kid, you want to be a stuntman? Get rid of those high kicks. Get on a dirt bike or get on a horse, and etc. And my ego went down because I'm a martial artist, and I didn't understand that. Okay, but within all the stunts encompass my art. Within all my stunts, I brought the art to the stunts. So on Die Hard 2, I said I've always wanted to put, it doesn't matter what art, but I was doing Kenpo. I want to put Kenpo into the movie business. That one scene, a scene somewhere, somehow. Because at that time, I was still a rookie, and you have Simon Rhee and Gene and Bill, all these other great Chuck Norris and all these people. Here I am, the little Kenpo guy running around. And the stuntman asked me, Charlie Pacerni, God bless him, love him, what do you want to do? And I told the stunt guy, throw a right hand. And he did a hand, I did a move, and I set up a move. Blah, 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 blah. And our system is called Thundering Hammer. And he goes, I love it. Let's use it. I'm like, we're going to use Kenpo and Die Hard too?
That's what's up.
And I did. Months later, I finished the movie, I come home, and here's Mr. Parker, I think it was Edmund, his son, went to the movie and saw it, and he came in and he goes, brother, give me a hug. I saw you did Thundering Hammers on Die Hard, and I love it. And he got that beautiful hair just flying. I'm like, okay, are you okay, Miss Parker? Did I do okay? Did I screw up something? No. Whatever you can put Kenpo in the film business or whatever, go ahead and do it. Like Jeff Speakman. We have Jeff Speakman's been around for a while, did Perfect Weapon, etc. So Jeff went on, did his thing, and I go off and do my thing. And I'm looking out at great martial artists going to, ha, I got it. And it was good. It was a good feeling to be able to do something from the art and use it in the movie business.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Able to take the art that I never thought I could do with stunts, and I put the art in the film business. And that is, I got chills thinking about it right now. I love
That's
it.
awesome.
So the martial art is not about, it isn't, guys and girls, about just fighting. The martial art is how I can convey myself on the job, my boss, my manager, my parents, my children. That's what the art taught me. Relationships, marriages. Sometimes I want to get mad, but I gotta go. And I'm just chomping at the bit. But
Yeah.
the art is what, but you have to have been in the art for quite a while to understand what I'm trying to tell you guys. You can't understand that if you're going to walk in for a year or two and try to think you're going to get that. Again, I go back to that 1%, that 1%ers. And if you stick around that long, even I wouldn't even say 1%. Let's say even a brown belt in the martial art world and BJJ, that would probably be equivalent to what's before
Brown.
Brown. Brown, right?
No,
brown.
I'm a purple, but
Yeah, brown, purple, brown. That is like, phew. You watch everybody just come way down. Humble, good, but just way down. But anyway, the art encompasses in everyday's life. Don't think of the art as just the martial art, how to defend yourself on the street. Defending myself is in what I'm doing in life. What am I doing to make that person better, my neighbor better, my community, my country better? No color. We in the martial arts, we have a duty to teach we all bleed red. We're just aliens with skin.
yeah.
That's all we are. Now, the other people who want to think all these different things and racism and all that, you got to let them fall off by the wayside. So you pick your planets. You have the Earth, but you have a lot of little planets. So you might jump off a bunch of little planets until you find that one planet that like-minded people. And that's what I love about the martial arts artists,
Yeah.
because we're all like-minded people. But it depends on your instructor to help you understand that. See? If your instructor just got you fighting, well, what did you learn?
To just see red.
So you're going to see red.
But
Just obviously having your finger on the trigger all the time. Boom, 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 right?
yeah.
That's a lot of wasted ammo.
But you have some people who just
Damn,
like to
really?
mag it up.
God, I got to pick all the ammo up. Anyway, I hope, Jay, that, and people out in the world of all art, again, okay? Remember that. Don't be specific. My art is better than this art, and that art is better than this art. I do Kenpo, but all arts is great. All art.
So where are you at on your dance? Like, what rank are you now?
You really? I don't believe in that.
Okay. What have you been
Okay.
labeled in their eyes?
Okay. Let me. You got.
Okay. So here's the thing. Here, let's stop. So for me, I don't know a lot on like old tradition.
Okay. Let me help you with that.
Hold on.
Okay. Sorry.
So here's something cool I didn't know. He informed me why we wear gis or kimonos in the gym. And I was like, because it gives you something to grab on, all this kind of stuff. He's like, no, it's for the instructor to see the outline of the gi or the kimono on the pants. So as he's, I would say, super far away, like not with you, he could kind of see like the outline and be like, oh, that's wrong. And I was like, huh. See, I just learned something. Like, for a while, I was closed off. I'm like, that doesn't work. Nah. I just watch stuff on TV, like the UFC or Strikeforce, all those kind of stuff. And I'm like, this is it. This is what goes. But you don't always want to go brutal.
You did learn, so your cup was empty.
Well, no, that hit me. I'm like, I'm just trying to get those grips and pass this fool's guard.
And all we do is pass down from knowledge from way back. And I learned that from Mr. Tatum, and who was my instructor under Mr. Parker. And I said the same thing. Why do we wear these gis? But not until I became the brown belt and got into the brown and black belt classes. I'm listening to all these guys and girls. And this guy said, come behind and look behind your student. I went behind. I said, I see him. He goes, no, you're not seeing. You need to see. I looked. I said, his knees are not bent. He goes, you're seeing. How did you see? Well, I didn't see this kneecap. He says, okay. See more. The back of his pants didn't have a crease. Wow. That. Phew. Shoulders, elbows, etc. And that was the reason that I started enjoying, understanding also why the gi. That's just one element. Besides the pop, you can make up a gi of timing, or your speed, etc. You can hear that pop. That timing of that pop would let you know your speed. If you don't have a gi on, you don't understand pop, right? Right? It's like if I do a back knuckle and I go, oh wow, that's cool. It makes you go, wow, because I heard the timing off of me, of my body, that recoiled off of me back to you. Recoil is like a rubber band. And if you hold it long enough, bam, it's gone, right?
Yeah.
If I just punch, right? That's good. It's good. All of it's good. But there's another element of elastic recoil.
So at what point did you actually realize that? Like
when you we start getting into your higher ranks.
Higher ranks, so you're around it a lot.
You hear it,
yeah,
but you don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's like jiu-jitsu or anything.
It's like pressure.
It's like pressure.
Yeah.
You understand pressure or cranking a little bit soft, hard, soft move, Kimuras and etc. You don't understand it until you start feeling it.
Yeah.
To feel is to believe.
It's like the crossface. Oof.
Yes.
Thanks.
But to get back to the gi for me, that's one element that I enjoy, and I'm very proud that that was a few years ago, and you remember that.
It hit
that's
me.
Cool.
I was
that's
like,
cool.
That's sick. Because I'm just like, just go smash. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Put your weight here, do this, use leverage. I'm like, all right, just go. But now I'm sure the higher belts are like, they're already like 8 to 10 moves ahead. They've seen that move thousands of times. They're like, okay, you move this way, they're going to go this way, and then you're done, practically. I'm sure it's the same with striking. They're like, oh, you can see his balance going this way. Oh, I'm going to, and boom. You're like, got you.
I'm going to answer a question real quick about rank. Not talking about my system too much, but I'll use my system. There was another gentleman who was really good, Tommy Chavez, very good. And he wore a 5th degree, older than me. It's been around for quite a long time. But after Mr. Parker died, and rank started going, 5th, 6th, 7th, all over the world. And I saw him and I said, Tommy, why do you still wear a 5th degree? He says, why not? I said, because everybody else is 7. He says, that's the problem. What is rank? As long as I can go to a seminar and give you the wow factor, that's all that really matters to me. And that caught my attention when he said that. It's not the rank of putting on that bar. It's how I can teach to give you the wow and make you think and give you enough information to go away for 6 months to a year and work on things on your own, okay? But as time has gone on, you guys, we're too much for a satisfaction of rank right now. And I wore a first on for a long time. But I put the 7th on, but the belt only holds my pants up. That's all that does. It just holds my pants up because I don't let my rank get me killed on the street of any system, no matter how good you are. Because you might have a bad day. You might be sick. So your timing's off. Diarrhea. Timing's off. Your wife yelled at you. Your timing's off.
Yeah.
It's all about what is your psyche that day you woke up? Where are you in that moment when you went to get attacked? See? So you can have all that training, but can you fire real quick? Now here's the sad part. The thug is thinking how to attack all day long.
That thug life, huh? That thug life.
See? So that's door number 5. That's door number 4 or 5 that instructors need to say before you got to be careful to come into this door. This is going to be the red door. So we're in the orange, but we're going to get to the red door. The red door is you're hot 24/7. You're training, you're killing, everything's kill. But then what you have to do is walk out of that red door and do what to your body, to your mind?
Just kind of, I would
Humble
say,
yourself, take deep breath, walk away, wiki yourself. Because if you don't, you didn't think like a thug. 24/7.
how did you do that? Who did you learn from to like that switch?
It was a guy, it was in, then we can stop in a few minutes because it is getting late.
Yeah.
I was in this club up at Universal City Walk. Great story, everybody.
It's 2:00.
Thank you. And you know when you're young and you probably have $20, you go to the club and you want to hold on to the beer all night to be cool in front of the ladies, right? Or
Sip on it.
The sip on the whiskey, right? All night long.
Act like you're drinking it.
And you're drinking all night long. And I was at Universal City Walk, and I had that $20, drove all the way from Torrance, Palos Verdes to Universal City Walk, and I get me a drink and a snifter, a little snifter, right? Warm, heated up, like a liqueur thing. And this guy, I'm walking down, I'm being cool at night, and that was probably about a purple in the martial art world.
Yeah.
Now you're doing martial arts, you become a purple, you get a little cocky, becoming the tiger, right?
Ish.
You want to walk around the streets, hey, what are you looking at me for? Right? Don't know shit. Excuse my French. You don't know anything, cut.
Oh.
And so this guy backed up, and I did the bark. And cause I spilled the drink a little bit on me, and this guy was a little rough. He was my age at the time. I'm younger, and I'm barking, hey, what you do? You blah, 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 blah. And he was calm as silk. He sat back in his chair. He leaned on the bar, and I'm right here, and I'm chirping in his ear. He grabbed his drink. He had a sip. He set it down. He said, son, I'm going to let you see sun tomorrow. And I'm still chirping in his ear. And he didn't look at me, nothing. Went away, went back. Years go by. Now I get into the high ranks. And I told the story to a few black belts, what this gentleman said. He goes, do you know, I know what happened. I started seeing, I was invited, you cannot go into a brown belt, black belt class until you become a brown belt, black belt. That's what it was, okay? So you cannot go into any of this class. Matter of fact, they kicked everybody out of school because it's a private night. And I got invited, I go in, and I thought it was pretty good until I got into that high rank class. And I went, oh my goodness. They're hitting, chopping throats, breaking C1s, breaking spines. Is that what that guy was telling me years ago?
Oh my God.
And from that day forward, I went, I've been walking this planet being cocky, and I could have got killed by one strike to the throat. One strike. And Vietnam was just done. I mean, we got guys coming from Green Berets coming around. Wasn't Rangers at the time, you know? And I'm like, wow. And that was the one that made me go, no more. I'm done. Being aware, but not cocky. No.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Did I answer your question, I think, a little bit?
Yeah.
That was a good story. And it's true. It's the truth. I tell my daughter, I tell everybody that story.
Yeah, I think everybody needs to get rattled a little bit.
Rattled, yes.
Not knocked out, and then you get brain damage, all this kind of, I don't got time for that.
Yeah.
But to get humbled.
It's like me doing stunts.
Yeah.
I thought I'm jumping off things until the one team that it hit the concrete and I couldn't remember who Jay was. I had a concussion and that concrete hurt and that car hurt, and that made me go, because I was partying before I went to work doing stunts. Then I realized I had to have my head clear to be a professional stuntman, because it's very dangerous. Or you'll die. Or you'll kill somebody in the process from your ego and your partying or whatever you're doing outside. Okay? All right? So even if you guys do become higher ranks and you go out drinking with your buddies, or male or female, just be aware of what you're doing. Because you make a mistake, you'll have a civil lawsuit.
Yeah, because aren't you...
Just like a weapon.
Yeah.
Because you are a weapon.
Yeah, you are considered a weapon.
Yeah, so you're walking down the street and somebody say, hey, Jay, you know, you got 50 cents, and he's hitting you like this, and you go, you go to court, Jay, what do you do? Oh, BJJ, what rank are you? Blue belt? Purple, you said?
Purple.
Good. Jay.
White.
The gentleman just asked you for $5 to get a Cheetos, and you broke his arm and you put him to sleep.
He was too close to me. No, I'm kidding. I got you.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Here, listen to what I'm telling everybody. Yes, but you have to be aware of your surroundings and the whys and what it's just like weapons. Same thing.
Yeah.
So I hope that will share a few things that you guys can take into your journey. Because I'm done.
For now.
No, I'll teach, but I enjoy teaching a handful because I can bark at you a little bit more, and I have to pay the rent to pay my dojo and close the door and say, "You're a piece of shit and you're horrible." Okay, but no, just joking. But I will come back to teaching down the road because I do. It's innate. It's in me now, and it's just like doing stunts. I like the movie business, but I love the art. I can sit here all night long. I'm supposed to teach for an hour, and all you instructors, you know I'm going to tell you. You know doggone well your wife should yell at you and tell you got to be home at a certain time, and you get home, it's like 9:30. Where were you? I was teaching. We were talking at the class, and he did a move, and I did a move, and that just becomes because we love what we're doing. We love what was passion. It's the passion of the art that I enjoy. And I hope that I can put my passion on to everybody else. And but don't let rank overrule your thinking in life.
This is awesome. Well,
okay, Jay, thank you very much. I learned from you. I'm very impressed with what you're doing right now. I really am. I've been watching you for a long time, Jay. And you telling me you were the way you were, I can't believe that watching you and seeing you for the last few years. You're very humble, very strong, confident with yourself, and you're caring. You're very caring, and you don't mind sharing. So I, Mr. McGee, I appreciate everything you've done. And thank you to everybody's out there in the La La Land. Okay.
Well, thank you so much for being here. This is awesome. Number 1, so much more to come. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your day or night, wherever you are.
Aloha, bra.
Peace.